Hello everyone! If you have ever been interested in amazing structures, watched on YouTube about Egyptian pyramids, megalithic complexes like the English Stonehenge and the Armenian Karahunj, then you must have heard about Baalbek at least once. Compared to it, all other wonders look like nice buildings for children's playgrounds. What is found at Baalbek is generally difficult to fit into any scientific concept due to the extreme gigantism of stone blocks taken for the construction of the structures in the so-called Roman style. The excavations of 2014, results of which are not widely known, revealed even more oddities, due to which official science appears in an extremely inconvenient position. It turned out that the construction of blocks weighing up to 1,000 tons or more was not a problem for people who lived in this ancient city, while such kind of work was extremely hard task for our generation. In addition to the already known South Stone weighing 1,050 tons, one more block was found in the quarry near the city, and it is more than 1.5 times larger than the South Stone. But first things first. As a warm-up, let's consider this antique gazebo, which has only 19-meter-high columns. This is the Temple of Bacchus, or Jupiter. The building stands on the terrace, which has 3 famous limestone slabs in its laying. These slabs are also called Trilaton Baalbek. The size of the slabs is absolutely incredible. They weigh about 800 tons. Each such brick is, on average, 21.3 meters long, with a height of 4.8 meters and a width of 4 meters. The huge blocks are located 7 meters from the ground level. For comparison, the largest block in the masonry of the notorious Pyramid of Cheops weighs some 90 tons in general. Do you want a solid fact? Almost a kilometer away from this temple, there is a limestone deposit where another world celebrity lies, the South Stone, or in the old Arabian, Gayar el-Kibli. This baby stone was never taken out of the quarry, but apparently it has been prepared to complete the platform of the temple. Its weight is about 1,050 tons. This block has been known since antiquity, and it is one of the largest man-made stones in the world. The length of the block reaches a little over 20 meters, and the width and the height of the stone are 4 meters each. As you can see, the South Stone was originally dug into the ground with one end, and everyone remembered it like that. But in 2014, excavations of this place were carried out, and a larger megalith was revealed to the world lying beneath the South Stone. Its weight is approximately 1,650 to 1,670 tons. 15 small caves with burials dating from the Byzantine period have also been found. The new megalith is not fully dug out. The height and width of the twin of the South Stone were about 6 meters each. Its length was 19.5 meters. A group of researchers from the Alternative History Laboratory worked before the excavation. This place looked like this. And this is how it looked like after the excavation in 2016. Researchers have discovered a perfect thin slit or incision under the South Stone. The same incision was found in steps in the same Baalbek. What is it? The usual natural fracture, as geologists say, or an alien laser cutter, or simple concrete technology? Although if everyone still wonders how it all was laid in such a miraculous way, you can hardly call it simple. Maybe at first, one part of the step on which the man was sitting was cast and hardened, and then new concrete was poured to it, and as a result, the joint remained without any gaps. Or they poured it all at once, but a thin plate was inserted in this place for some reason, and when the concrete froze only partially, the plate was removed and the concrete slightly stiffened, leaving such a gap. However, in the case of the South Stone, the concrete version does not explain everything either. If you have your own explanation, we invite you to the discussion in the comments under this video. Another unfinished megalith lies in the same quarry. It is not that famous and not that big, and it is the so-called North Stone, which someone has already begun to cut into large flat bricks. Here's what Andrei Kuznetsov, an alternative scientist from the Alternative History Laboratory, says. The measurements show that the height of the quarry above sea level is at least 20 meters lower than the trilithons laid, that is, the masonry of the Temple of Jupiter. This means that the blocks were lifted up to a height of a 5 to 6 story house during transportation. In addition, trilithons have been cut not from the top rock, but on the contrary, from the depth of the quarry. So, if we round up the data, we have two huge blocks weighing 1,050 tons and more than 1,600 tons, and their cuts are absolutely equal. And now what to do with it, and how to live with this knowledge? It is obvious that it is not possible to build such blocks without using high-tech equipment superior to the modern. Therefore, official science prefers to simply ignore what is in Baalbek. Although sometimes someone tries to explain the method of moving such huge blocks. Often, these smart men are constantly quiet about certain details that obviously make such versions untenable. For example, one of these researchers said that megaliths allegedly went down. However, how can it be true if the quarry is below the construction site and the stones need to be lifted up on a slope? And this makes the movement of such blocks much harder. Other scientists have sketched a draft of how huge stones were dragged on original wooden rollers. In fact, the south stone does not lie horizontally, but under a decent inclination of about 30 degrees. And secondly, we need to consider the road along which such a way of transportation of the block is proposed. But there is no road nearby, as well as there are not even any remains of an X-road, even if it is destroyed. Moreover, let's note that such blocks cannot be covered with grease during the movement because stones must be on top of each other, tightly to each other, and right in the masonry of the building. After all, you can't even put a needle between these bricks. Official science cites as an example the case with the obelisk of Mussolini, which is in this manner, that is, with the help of log rollers, was delivered to Rome. However, the weight of this stone is only 300 tons, not 1,000 or at least 800, and the road was used there. But there isn't any road in the quarry of Baalbek. Probably they used to deliver the blocks to the spot by balloons. This is not over yet. A suspicious cut under the south stone is another interesting detail here. And yet, how could it be done? This is not the only case. When a huge stone is being cut so precisely without the use of modern technologies. Apparently, the same processing method of the stone is used in most cases. Either way, nature tries to make a crack as if it had a ticker, as official scientists write. For example, here is a pebble sawn into two parts, but the saw did not reach the bottom, and later the two parts were separated, and the bottom edge was roughly broken, even without a cut. Or here's an interesting stepped 2-meter cut of the stone in Khakassia on Lake Itkul. There is also a cross cut, and this is enchanting. A sawn stone as if a boulder cut by a sword in Saudi Arabia. Will scientists say again that it is blown by the wind? Surely no. This is obviously erosion, and the stone cut itself like that. While official science is trying to come up with a wise view of another untenable theory about all of this, the ultimate scientists continue their independent research. Some of them insist that cuts were made with similar tools, and surprisingly, some ancient statues and images resemble such mechanisms. These museum exhibits are the ancient censers from Costa Rica or Nicaragua. If these creatures cut with something on their heads, then the incisor found on the burial site in El Caño in Panama kept a cutter on its tail. And here is the modern mining combine. In addition to animals, there are humanoid stone cutters. Here are workers in the similarity of a helmet with the similarity of circular saws in their right hands, which were depicted by the ancient Maya Indians on one of the vessels. And now it's time to come back to Baalbek. You can see in these pictures that the stone is cut by some kind of tool, leaving many deep parallel grooves. Some modern drilling machines have these traces, and the same traces of ancient megaliths are spread all over the world. But apparently, this is just fiction, And it is very simple to do this with the help of muscular power and metallic instruments, right? Let's discuss it in the comments below the video. We even came up with an idea of a vote there. Let's look at the results. It'll be interesting. Well, that's it for today. See you soon on our channel.